Hey, Z members, Zombie Killer here, or Zombie Nation, or again, whatever you want to call yourselves. I'm still trying to think of a better name other than zombies, you know. Anyway, guys, Zombie Killer here, and again, welcome back to more Disney-Cember reactions. So, now we'll be watching Fantasia. I loved Fantasia. Fantasia 2000 wasn't the best of Fantasia, but it was still really, really interesting and looked really, really good. But something about Fantasia, like, again, the thing about Fantasia is that there's no acting whatsoever. It's just a bunch of artists coming up with their ideas and putting it into one massive movie. And there's beautiful sounds, the music, the effects, the visuals. Everything about it just looks so beautiful, and I forgot which one it is, but in Fantasia 2000, there's one in particular that I love the most. So obviously we will definitely get around to Fantasia 2000. So, but as much as I love Fantasia 2000. Fantasia is more of my element, and even a lot of people will agree with me saying that Fantasia 2000 wasn't the best. By the time, guys, let's get into Fantasia for DisneyCember. Let's get it.
Riding high with the success of Snow White and Pinocchio, it's interesting that Disney decided to do something 100% different for their third film. Fantasia doesn't have a narrative story. Hell, it doesn't even have any dialogue apart from the host. It's just an experiment of taking classical music and combining it with great Disney animation. It's not
Merlin.
one story, it's several stories. And half the time, they're not even really stories. The opening is just a collection of abstract imagery that goes along with the music, like what your mind might be thinking when hearing it for the first time. And I friggin' love it.
Yeah.
It's not just one of my favorite Disney films, it's one of my favorite films, period. Remember what I was saying before about emotional simplicity? You could argue that this is the film that masters it. Whereas I describe both Snow White and Pinocchio as emotional stories, this is what I like to call an emotional experience.
I'm gonna pause real quick. It is an experience. I say my two. Actually, I think there's three, but one of them is Merlin. Not Merlin, but Mickey was wearing Merlin's hat, or Jensen. He was wearing Jensen's hat, and so we can see how to do so much chores around Jensen's house. He had to use Jensen's hat. In order to do magic. But it was getting too out of hand, and the Jensen had to cut it off and destroy it. And Jensen was pissed. Jensen is usually pissed. But Mickey, he was sad and depressed. He was a beginner when it comes to magic. So that's my favorite. The other one was where the dog figure. I forgot which one. I forgot what that person's name is. But with the like figure, dark figure, monster or the devil, really. I like that one really too because of how dark it went. It looked really cool. And then my final one is shoot, I just I got it in my mind. Shoot, is the Merlin? That's I lost my train of thought. Shoot. I'm trying to remember. Oh, it's the dinosaurs. There you go. I got it. Dinosaurs. My third one is the dinosaurs because when I was a kid and when I saw this, I was obsessed with dinosaurs. I had all the books that I had to do about dinosaurs. I had a bunch of archaeology kits and dinosaur bone kits and dinosaur puzzles. I was obsessed with dinosaurs when I was a kid. And then after dinosaurs came sharks, and after sharks for a little bit, I say for a good year and a half. Again, I had all the things that had to do with sharks. I had shark encyclopedia, shark books, shark movies, shark puzzles, and everything like that. I was obsessed with sharks, still on to this day. And then came dinosaurs. I mean, not dinosaurs. Then came space, and I learned a few things here and there about space. And then came now video games and other stuff like that. No, the weather. There was a weather, and then came video games, and that's pretty much what my passion is just for playing video games now. But yeah, so Merlin, the devil, and then dinosaurs. Those are my top three in this movie. And again, the visuals, it's an experience, and I just love that. So, anyway, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, play.
It's not based on narrative as much as moments. And life is made up of very unique moments, so I don't think there's really any problem
That one right
putting
there.
them together in a
Oh
movie,
shit, sorry.
especially if they do get an emotional response. Sometimes it creates a confusing response, like the one with the dinosaurs. I never know how to feel watching that. Sometimes they're threatening, sometimes they're cute, and then through the course of the piece, they're just gone. I remember as a kid, I had no idea what to think of that. It's just sort of something that happened.
It's
and
just
draw
there.
your own conclusions. Some definitely do have a flowing narrative, like the most famous one, The Sorcerer's Apprentice. This is actually how the film came about. Disney just wanted to make this short with Mickey Mouse as a magician. But as the expenses for it got bigger and bigger, they finally just shrugged and said, hey, why don't we do a couple of these and just turn it into a flick? The result is some booming, fantastic music with some booming, fantastic animation. And sometimes just the falling of leaves can be so much more powerful than the emotional conflict that a character is going through. If the film is done right, it can suck you into something so simple and yet so oddly
I thought it was magical. Just seeing leaves fall, listening to the sound is it's nice.
The music, anything that was poetic in, well, really anything. Even just the changing of seasons. I stated this before, but my absolute favorite is the ending. Both The Night on Bald Mountain and the Ave Maria. Even if you don't have a religious background, just the very basic emotional levels they have here are really high. The contrast in putting these two together is just brilliant. And the belief in something much darker than you can imagine, or more inspiring than you can imagine, is definitely there. Disney wanted to do a lot more of these and have this be a continuing film series. But sadly, the film didn't make the money that it needed. Oh, it made a lot of money. It was like the second or third highest grossing film that year. But it didn't matter. The film cost a fortune to make, and financially, it didn't make sense to make anymore. They did make one sequel years later, though we'll get to that when we come around.
Yeah, exactly. Actually,
Still, though, Fantasia is a powerhouse of art. In fact, it's actually like going to an art museum, except with motion and music. As you can imagine, though, it's not as geared for kids as the other Disney flicks. There's nothing really troubling or bad about it that kids can't watch. I remember watching Bald Mountain fine when I was younger. But with the exception of maybe Sorcerer's Apprentice,
it was just creepy for the mountain one.
This was the animated Disney film almost strictly for adults. And while kids could watch it, it wasn't exactly their film. It was more for the grown-ups.
I liked it.
And those who loved
I loved it, actually.
Really loved it. And it still continues to be one of my faves.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it wasn't everyone's favorite film. It was certainly my favorite film because of the dinosaurs, the mountain, and Merlin and the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Those are my top three favorite ones. I mean, the show, the one with the leaves, is very calming and very soothing. The one with the seasons, with the pixies or the fairies, that was very interesting too. But my favorite one of all time in Fantasia 2000, which we will get to, but I'm going to say right now, is only the whales. The one with the whales is just it's just beautiful, like just hearing the sounds of the whales, with the cubs or the pups is with their mother, and the music is just so good. Everything else wasn't my official favorite. The only one I ever loved was the whales one. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people will agree with me. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed my reaction to Fantasia for DisneyCember. It's certainly a classic, and again, it was just a bunch of stories that were just made into one film. So, yeah, and it was a lot. I forgot how much it was to make the movie, but it was certainly a lot because of how much hand-drawn animation they had to do. So, anyway, guys, I'll see y'all in a brand new video. Peace.